Chance Brothers was a very special firm in my mind. There were several like it, I presume, at that time. There's none around today like it. But it was a full-time occupation. It was a way of life.
That it is really good to keep buildings alive that have got a history. There's a lot of people who are interested in the history and really passionate about Chance the building and Chance the company that was in operation all those years ago, but also the opportunities to newer communities maybe to see that there was a past, and there was a philanthropistic past with Chance looking after their workers. So that in itself sets a bit of an understanding of how the legacy of Chance.
It's about giving the site back to the community, and the Chance Glassworks was the centre of that community for over 150 years until it closed in the early 1980s. Every family pretty much knew somebody or had somebody in the family who worked there going back, generations. And it was part of their lives. And that's what it needs to be. It needs to be part of the community. So opening it up from a derelict industrial site that nobody has access to pretty much, to give it back to the community.
Oh, it's a fantastic thing. It was a major, the biggest employer in Smethwick. At one time employed 3,500 people over its 9-acre site, to becoming the largest glass manufacturer in the country. And so it's really vitally important, and I think it's got a place in history.
Heritage is important because that's how we learn, that's how we move on, that's how we move forward. I mean, the whole of this area is foundries and little sewing workshops, and the heritage has carried on from there to now. If we don't have any heritage, how do we know where to go? How do we know the way forward? How do we know what we've done? And that particular site has the opportunity to take an awful lot of people with it on this really interesting, cool journey.
I think it puts Smethwick on the map. I think it absolutely gives Smethwick an identity. It will give some employment, some volunteering, some training opportunities, because I think everything that Chance is doing, they're looking at building it around people, people's needs, people's aspirations. So it's about working with local people to make that project work for everybody.
At the moment, it's just a really cool building with a lot of scaffolding. What we need to do, and I hope they engage us all of the time, is push this forward so that people get inspired and see something that they can actually put their hands on. Community.
Yeah, this was innovation. This was absolutely cutting-edge technology that went on here. So how do we recapture that and move it forward? Also, economically, heritage is really attractive. If you take the Black Country Museum, you take Ironbridge. Yeah, Ironbridge specifically, 30 years ago, it was terrible. Heritage has transformed that into an economic, successful community.
There's an opportunity for local people and people further afield, tourists as well from all over the world that come to Birmingham. There's opportunities for all. There's an investment for everyone, an opportunity to see something you're going to enjoy, as well as see something where you see local trades working.
Without investing, you're not able to have the opportunity to redefine what culture is. People in Smethwick, and even myself know my family that still live there, hearing that there's something coming back to them and where they live, and actually they feel really spotlighted that where they live is important enough for people to care about going to work every day and wanting to do this thing with Chance. I also think the way Chance Heritage Trust so far have worked, they've been really open to also changing how they listen to their community as well. And I think evidence in that will start to create good example for other places to help just people feel not just valued, but take ownership that this is also their home and it's their space. It's not this development that's defining your space, it's you.
But how do we make this a new urban village that creates employment, it creates education, it creates cultural space, so actually it becomes a hub of the community again, which it always was. It was the hub of the community. So how do we recreate that hub of community that gives value to all?
Heritage isn't a thing there that finished, and we're kind of scrabbling it back. It's not that at all. Heritage is a living thing. It's part of our lives, and therefore it's part of our lives going forward. And it's up to us, I think, almost as the, I suppose, conservators of it, really. You know, we're visitors. It's not ours. We're allowing the site to come forward in the community and the heritage to be celebrated and the site to be celebrated again.
Plans that they've got are really, really exciting, and something that I feel that I would like to be involved in, get our staff involved in to support what they want to do. And I think it gives the community something to focus on. And I think that this is an opportunity for people to get involved, celebrate, talk about, and actually people who don't come from here locally to come and have a look at what we've got to offer here, because we've got an awful lot.
So it feels really exciting to see a place that people either used to call home or still call home, and some of my family is still there. It means, you know, seeing money go into a place like that and seeing people's efforts go into a place like that kind of recharges what it feels like for you to be at home. So it's really exciting to see that there's more opportunity being created for people, even just to spend time and just to kind of make a space look better is step one. And then it kind of shows that the decision making is important for local community there.
But this is the time right now to get involved and share your thoughts. So then in years to come, you can look at even just like a piece of a window or a community engagement initiative, and you know that you were a part of it, and maybe now you have siblings or you have children who are also engaging within it, and you know you may feel a sense of pride as part of that, or you may feel quite nonchalant, but I think that's what we are actually allowed to do as part of our community, that we can actually engage and we can contribute.
It's going to be a really good, it's going to be an interesting scheme. It's going to regenerate, but the important thing to remember is if we engage our local community, there should be a responsibility that we take them on the journey of something that's going to be a really, really interesting place to be around.
I think communities on the whole feel as though they have had things done to them rather than part of that journey. I think by linking the past to the future and getting the community involved in influencing that, of listening to their voice, of making sure that it creates wealth for them, not for others, that actually it becomes a heart and a new soul, is really important for long-term sustainability, but also to create value for that community going forward.
The intention is to offer leisure, education, live work, cultural experiences, which of course, by the nature of cultural experiences, cross many cultures and many societies. But the point really is that there was something there for everybody.
The positive potential, it could be that it looks like it's going to be a place where creatives turn up, and we hopefully will attract creatives who will come into the area and bring more creativity to our. Because you have to remember, we're in an area where creativity and art is at a low ebb. People go about their everyday lives as community members. What we should be afraid of, again, is not alienating. Everybody should be along for the ride. Otherwise, we have a fear of turning it into a regentrification isolation place.
The Chance Glassworks site, like many industrial heritage sites in Sandwell and beyond, was an integral part of the community, and that should be remembered. It was the community for a very long time. The care and the trust that people had in the glassworks, in it being a part of their life, is something that can't be forgotten. It has to be moved forward, and it has to be treasured.